Alright, hey there guys, back with another video today. Today we're going to be looking at this article by the Financial Post where Unifor Union calls for 100% tariffs on electric vehicles coming from China, stating that the Chinese electric vehicle makers are the biggest threat to the Canadian auto sector. This comes on the heels of a recently halted $2.7 billion electric batteries factory in eastern Ontario, a vital project that the government had invested billions in, federal and provincial, and has been now stopped because the company stated, I forget the company's name, sorry guys, but the company building the electric vehicle plant in eastern Ontario stated that because of the trends in the financial markets in regards to EVs and the slowing in EV sales, they have decided to stop construction. This is big news for the federal government and as well as many provincial governments, considering that a lot of the EV battery makers in this country and EV electric car makers are subsidized heavily by the government through tax breaks, subsidies, and are very invested in by the government. We could say that the biggest stakeholder, even bigger than a lot of the corporations themselves who are building these EVs and the batteries or whatever else is associated with it, the government is a bigger stakeholder in these projects. As they have list, I think the article goes on to state, if we go down here, okay, hold on, 46.1 billion dollars Canadian, 31.4 billion from the federal government, with 21.1 billion from the provincial government. So Unifor, being the representative of the biggest private labor union in Canada and many, I guess, car companies here, have called for 100% tariff on electric vehicles coming from China and 25% tariffs on Chinese batteries and related products, including critical minerals. This initiative is very similar to the one taken by the United States to protect their EV market as well. This comes on the heels of a 26-page submission that Unifor made to the federal government on August 1st, on the heels of the ending of the consultation by Christian Freeland about how to deal with the anti-competitive behavior of the Chinese EV sector. That's what she characterizes it as, but I see it as the Chinese market being more well-established and better than the Canadian EV market. And the government has invested heavily and subsidized heavily the EV markets here, but has not engaged in proper long-term planning that considers the upside risks. Companies have jumped onto the opportunity to gain potential great returns by building these plants in Canada with the government support. So in their sense, they would risk less, you could say, when the government is investing so heavily. This lapse, you could say, or threat by China in the automaker market, you could blame on the federal government of Canada solely, as this was a Trudeau mandate to get this green vehicle project made and getting all these projects across the country made, and he did it in a very hastily manner, hastily offering subsidies, tax breaks, and basically acting as a corporate welfare state for these EV companies. Now, the article says that Unifor hopes to have the 100% tariffs imposed on Chinese EVs, and is very concerned about the potential threat. What we can say for sure, though, is that all the concerns raised by Unifor are very important, coming from the threat to our markets here for EVs, through the sourcing of the Chinese-made electric vehicles and the humanitarian abuses being committed by the Chinese in the Uyghur and Turkic areas to the people there. So, very valid concerns. But what has the government of Canada, the federal government, done to properly prepare the EV markets in Canada, the builders, the companies, and the overall projects they've engaged in to protect them from the downside risks that we are now seeing the consequences of? Plants are halting their construction. They're expecting more support from the government, even more than the billions that have already been invested. It is starting to look like the government of Canada, Justin Trudeau's Liberals, are starting to lose control of the situation in the EV market. The homegrown EV market dream for Canada is starting to seem like a past reality that could have been. Thank you guys for listening to my video today, and I hope you learned something. I informed you, and I will be glad to answer any questions you have in the comments or discussion in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.